Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Excited today to be back with Dr. Luigi DiRubba. He's our licensed chiropractor based out of beautiful Cheshire, Connecticut. He has so many years of experience with really using the whole person approach when it comes to healing and wellness. And he's been guiding us and giving us great advice over the past few weeks on, the work of a chiropractor and what it means to be a doctor of chiropractic and how people like him and himself are helping change people's mind, body, and soul. How are you today, darling?
Awesome. Thank you
Good
for
to
getting.
see you. And it's Cheshire Chiropractic. Just want everyone to know, based out of Cheshire, Connecticut. Would you mind introducing yourself to start?
Luigi DiRubba, practicing here in 32 years in Cheshire, Central Connecticut Chiropractic. We have our website, CheshireChiropractic.com. People can sign on to the newsletter. They get once a week, once every 2 weeks, they get some health tips and information they could use and beneficial for them and their families.
Beautiful.
And it's great. Unfortunately, it is kind of cold and rainy here today, but what I was really wanted to touch on is some of the things that we could help each other with, with our immune system and also athletic performance. So this is the great time of the year to really start working on enhancing your body and your performance level. So then springtime comes around and you feel really comfortable taking that shirt off.
Mm-hmm. Ah, this is the perfect time, right? What can you help us with? Give us some advice, please, Doc.
Really, really, right now the best thing is start eating cleaner. Take out all the junk out of your lifestyle. What I tell everyone, best thing to do is go through the kitchen and the cupboards and start getting rid of stuff that you wouldn't really feed it to, whatever. Uh, um, that's number one. Number two, make sure your water intake is high. Start taking your supplements. Start doing some moderate exercise on a daily basis. I mean, half hour. Who says that, when people say, I'm too busy or I got a hectic lifestyle, don't tell me you don't have a half hour in the morning. Everybody has a half hour. They just have to make a priority. That takes, that should be your first thing to be done in the morning before anything else. If you don't take care of you, how are you going to be able to take care of everybody else?
So
Regardless
true.
if you're a mom or a dad or a student or a professional, it doesn't make a difference. You can't be at your peak level if you're not really cleansing your system and really getting the best out of your body.
Oh my goodness. It's funny you said that because I recently just purged my cabinets. Here we are in February, and I have young kids, and people out there may have kids too, or adults with Halloween candy laying around the house, or candy from the holidays, from Christmas and Hanukkah. And I had so many bags of candy that no one was eating. It was time to get rid of. But every now and then, I'd go in there and I'd take a piece, and I'm like, even though it says I checked, like most of it doesn't expire till next year, I'm like, it's got to go. It's got to go. It's unhealthy. I'm like, we got it out, of course, prepare for the Valentine's candy that's coming tomorrow. But no, no, no. You're right. I feel like we're and oh gosh, then Easter comes and the chocolate bunnies. But yeah, I think it's good to be mindful right now. And I just started making more changes, as you mentioned. And for my father, who is 76, I've been taking him to doctors. He's overweight and trying to get him back and scaling down his food. He's been eating too many big portions and dessert. So we just started last week of taking out the dessert, cutting the portions down, and drinking more water. You said it, and I'm on that kick too. Not that I'm healthy, but I could be healthier and eat better. So I love this whole notion of more water,
Yeah,
and
and
maybe cutting back on the bad stuff for us.
yeah,
Yes.
and people also complain, oh, I don't like the taste of water. It doesn't taste great, or my city water or town water doesn't taste great. Okay, great. Get yourself a Brita filter or pure filter. There's nothing wrong with that. They have great reverse osmosis machines out there. They're a little bit pricier, but hey, if you have it for your drinking water, it's fantastic. If you don't like the actual taste of water, great. Grab a lemon, half a lemon, and squeeze it in there. Every week I make myself a 2 gallon pitcher of water in the fridge. I squeeze 4 or 5 lemons. I go through 2 or 3 bags of lemons a week, and
Wow.
it's worth it. Why? I feel great. The lemon is actually wonderful for you because it
Yeah,
increases
I was
immunity.
going to ask. I don't know what it does for you. What does lemon do for you?
Extra vitamin C. Who can't use that?
Really?
Everyone can use extra vitamin C, and your lemon actually
Oh
helps
wow.
with your digestive system and genital urinary system. Your kidneys actually uh, clear themselves a lot better.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right, there's a start, and I'm feeling like it's time soon for the spring. I have like a fancy little pitcher. You
Yeah.
probably have them in the office, right? The big water you could put like the cucumbers or like the lemon, and I could picture it sparkling with some ice, and yeah, it gets you in the mood for summer that way too.
Yeah. And when it comes to what we do as chiropractors, it's not just okay. We locate and analyze and correct subluxations of the spine, which are causing these interferences of the nervous system, which can lead to long-term headaches,
Yep,
immune weakness, colds, flus, congestion, allergies, respiratory conditions, you know, and not just the outside physical stuff of having neck and back pain, but also I have to teach you and give you tools to utilize outside the office. You're in my office maybe 10 to 15 minutes at the most. I don't know what you do outside, but I got to give you as many tools as possible. So when you come back in for your next appointment or follow up appointments, depending on your care regimen,
yeah.
I know you're doing the right thing. You're not defeating what we're trying to progress with.
Well, I just feel this is just the perfect time to get started. And let me ask you about this. You mentioned the flu sickness, and as a doctor, you must know more than I do. I just watch the news. That's all I know. And they say it's on the uptick, and everyone I know around me has had the flu so far. So, what is going on in our world right now? Is there really an uptick? And should we be getting our flu vaccinations as well? Do you have any recommendations on that?
Well, you mentioned something before in regards to Halloween on forward. You know, this is the time of the year our lifestyles get busy because of the busyness of schools, the kids in school, sports activities, quicker meals, not really paying attention to the things that we should be, the junk food coming into play from Halloween on. I mean, think about it. How much, candy and chocolate have you had? It's a lot. Even if you're just having one piece a day, it's more than usual than
I
you would.
know, I
Um,
know.
so we become much more subjected to um, the chances of weakening our immune system, and we're stuck indoors, especially in the northern part of the country, the colder climates. So less activity. That's another
True.
factor.
Ah, yep.
You know, and we're prone to injuries, especially with kids playing sports and adults, doing less activity. So when they actually go to do something, they're straining themselves because their body's physical ability has been dumbed down a little. In regards to the flu vaccine, I give I give my patients the one thing that's the most important: information about the pros and cons, and making an informed choice. Do I recommend it? I tell you, listen, if you take better care of yourself,
Yep.
you don't need a flu shot. But if you choose that, maybe you're possibly at risk and this and that, it's gonna be more of an issue of becoming informed of the pros and cons. There's
Beautiful.
there's chances of with the flu shot that there's risk factors also. So do I really want to take that chance, or do I
I,
want to just, how can I say, empower myself to do better?
yep.
Yeah.
I'm down with that as well. I haven't had the flu shot in years, and forgive me for saying some people may not agree with this, and I've had doctors tell me I'm wrong, but one time we had the flu shot. It was about 20 years ago, and they told us it was the dead form of the virus. Well, everyone in the whole office got wiped out. We all had the flu, so something was wrong with either that batch or whatever, but it scared the heck out of me. And I know how I felt, and I said I never want to take the chance of putting that in my body again. Everyone tells me it's safe, 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 and it shouldn't happen, but I'm scared because of that, to be honest.
Well, when they use the word safe, they don't tell you there's a little sidebar at the bottom with little small print. By the way, vaccine manufacturers you can't sue them. God forbid something that happens to you or a family member. And secondly, why would the government put together a vaccine injury fund for damages to someone if it was safe? But they don't tell you that part.
Of course not.
So really it comes down to become informed. Do your homework. There's a lot of information out there that will give you precise facts. It's not an issue of belief because facts
Yeah.
are not something that you have to believe. It's just clear cut evidence. The sky is blue, and when it's dark, there's no light. Things are very
Yeah.
simple. we make things a little bit more complicated with the so-called the fear factor in there. And I love putting in my office in I have little boards in the rooms for each patient, and once a week we put this we put the word fear, and actually fear you could put it as an it each letter will stand for something. False evidence appearing real. So
Ooh,
so I tell people before you get into the anxiety and state of believing something just based on what was told, let's get to the facts first, and then you can make a better decision.
got it. Thank you for that. And always a great conversation. If you are just tuning in, want to remind everyone that we are speaking to our friend, Dr. Luigi DiRubba. He's a chiropractor based out of Connecticut, and he's really on a health and wellness journey, teaching us so much. And what else for today did you want to make it a point to get across to your listeners?
If you have children, no matter what age, from birth on, bring them to a chiropractor, pediatric specialist in chiropractic field. Um, the things that we develop as adults that unfortunately would become chronic problems, it can be prevented. And at the same time, your child will be healthier, happier, physically much better in the sense of, strength and performance. Athletes have a chiropractor on staff all the time.
Yeah,
Why? Because it makes them function better. They have better reaction time, and they
yeah,
recover faster from injuries. Um, Speaking of, of sports, think of the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a great chiropractor on staff, and Saquon Barkley, which I hate to see that he's on Philly because I'm a Giants fan, but he has his own personal chiropractor, and he's actually all over YouTube. It shows him getting
Where-
adjusted by his chiropractor on a regular basis. He's been
wow.
using him for years. So, you know, all the best have been using a chiropractor on a regular basis.
Ah, I know, and we've talked about this before, and I appreciate your input. I told the doctor about my son who has some neck issues from being on the iPad last year, and now with football and the heavy helmet, and how he's cracking himself, and he shouldn't be. But yeah, and I never brought him to a chiropractor yet, and it's something I need to do for him. He needs to, yeah, learn how to adjust properly and to see, make sure everything's okay because he feels good because he's cracking his body. It just sounds horrible to me, and like you said, that doesn't mean it's a good thing.
If you let me know where you're located in Long Island, I'll find your chiropractor in that area. You're more than welcome
I'll
to.
tell you right now, it's okay. It's no secret. I live in Holtsville, Holtsville, New York. The zip code is 11742. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. If
Okay,
not, I'm willing to drive to you. And I think it was like a 2.5 hour drive, and then his neck will be stiffer or sorer. But
we'll find somebody in that area for you.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
I grew
you,
up I grew up in Roslyn, Long Island.
God, oh my gosh. Oh, exit 37 off the Long Island Expressway. I love
Yes,
Roslyn. My girlfriend owns Prism Med Spa right there in town. It's a
oh,
great.
okay.
Do you remember the George Washington Manor?
Yes, I did. I actually was a regular visitor there at one time.
Me too. Used to have because my family was from Queens, even though I grew up out east. But like my grandparents from Whitestone would always have our holiday parties there. Oh, I love that. It's so beautiful over there. And now there's some new steakhouse and everything else, and the town's beautiful, and it's even more beautiful now. And oh, do you know what just closed down?
What's that?
The Jolly Fisherman.
No.
Yeah, that closed down like a year and a half ago. I'm not kidding. It
Oh
was
my God.
right. That was a whole, my girlfriend's med spa is right next door to that. So that was devastating. Then they opened up some Italian place, but I haven't been there. I don't know what it's doing. But yeah, that's another staple. I just got goosebumps growing
Well,
up, but you must bring it back to you too.
Roslyn High School right there. We would walk down to the village. They would close off the streets on Thursday nights for us, and
Really?
everyone would be walking around. All teenagers would be hanging out in the middle of the street in those years. 1980. Well, I'm going to kind of give away
Date
the age
yourself. It's
gap.
okay. It's all right.
I graduated in '84, so it's from 1979 to '84. Pretty much those were the best years of my life. The 4 years there.
Oh, wow. Have
Yeah.
you been back at all recently or
I go
no?
back once in a while.
Okay.
I love going back to the high school and just to see the prancing horse in the middle of the circle there.
Doesn't
It's
it make you feel so good and so nostalgic? But sometimes that's good for the mind, body, and soul too, right? To bring back those good memories and look at the school you went to. That, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
great upbringing in there, and great people, hardworking community. Um, my family owned a restaurant in Albertson, the next town over.
Oh, wow.
So I became very popular when I was a kid because everybody would come over for the best pizza around.
What's the name of the pizza place?
And it's called Vincent's Pizzeria and Restaurant right there.
Oh, you said my aunt lives off of Park Avenue in Albertson, right there near the City Bank, the shopping center. I think that's where she
That's
goes.
exactly the same. That's exactly the parking. Excuse me. That's the shopping plaza. We
Is
were
it
right next door to
really?
City.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly, right on the end there. And then my uncle is a firefighter over at Albertson, a volunteer fire. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my gosh. And there's like what supermarket's there now? I don't know, but they're still there.
It used to be Wall Bounds.
I love all Bounds, but the pizzeria itself is still there.
It's still there. Their own. It's an owner. My dad sold it many years ago, but they were. He was there since 1974.
I
Many,
l-
many moons.
I love this. We're walking down memory lane. It feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, he does.
All
And
right.
that's how I got exposed to chiropractic also because even though I had injuries when I was younger and went to a chiropractor in Queens growing up, and then we
That's
moved out to
right.
the island, that same chiropractor had friends in the area, so they used to come into the restaurant all the time. So when I would work for my dad, I would always have these great conversations with these chiropractors, and they really inspired me. They really did. And I will never forget the one chiropractor sat me down. You know, he was having dinner and sat me down. He goes, "What do you plan on doing with your rest of your life?" I said, "Well, I'm going to college. I'm in pre med. I'm not sure. Maybe dental, chiropractic. Who knows?" He goes, "Shut up." He goes, "You should need to become a chiropractor. You're perfect." He goes, "You've been under care all your life. You actually are very intrigued in the body, in the physiology. Next year, you're going to chiropractic school." So I actually graduated college and took my applications and went on.
Wow. I
It was
love it.
great.
Awesome. All right. We got some Long Island chat happening today. I'm loving this for sure. And by the way, just for those that don't know, where did you attend school and get your credentials from? And just a little bit about your interest in chiropractic care, if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about what you went through.
I had an injury when I was very young, about 13 years old, a wrestling injury, hurt my neck, fractured the second vertebrae. I was in the hospital for a couple of days in traction. My family came to visit me, specifically my uncle Salvatore, and his first words out of his mouth said, "He needs to see my chiropractor. Well, needs to see Dr. Larry." And my parents said, "Sure, but
Yeah.
they didn't know he was a chiropractor. And it was Queens Chiropractic Center in Flushing, Queens.
Oh gosh. Yep.
Um, 2 days later, I was taken out of the hospital and brought to his office,
Okay.
and he started helping me. And I'll never forget after the first couple of visits, I
Wow.
was able to start moving, and it really made a big difference.
Got it.
I went on to undergrad, did my undergrad at University of South Florida and CW Post.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to take your undergrad requirements, get your bachelor's either in the sciences. I got a minor in psych, and then applied to chiropractic colleges, just like any other healthcare field. You have to application process, take your exams. Um, I decided to go to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Davenport, Iowa, which was the fountainhead of chiropractic, and it was the most amazing experience. You do your graduate work, you do
Mm-hmm.
your residency program. If you finish your residency program early, like I did, you're able to go out into active practice prior to graduation. Um, and then I met some doctors here in Connecticut. I actually wanted to practice in New York, but met some doctors here in Connecticut, and kind of the chips fell where they were, and I enjoyed finding a nice small town that I fell in love with, um, and started practicing here.
Beautiful.
32 years ago, exactly.
Wow. Wow. And how did you get to Connecticut? What was that transition about? Was it about a woman?
No, no. Actually, I was doing my preceptorship in Connecticut and met a doctor here in Cheshire that was looking to retire.
Wow.
And I really wasn't interested at first. I wanted to stay in New York, but then things got a little weird in New York, and I found his business card again and decided to give him a call.
Wow.
So,
Here you are.
yeah, great
Great.
experience.
Beautiful. And what else did you want to share with us during again, this cold February day about our bodies, our mind, our health, the importance of chiropractic care? You tell us.
You know, I just had um, a few pregnant moms come in.
Mm-hmm.
I take care of a lot of pregnant women
Yep.
pregnant, and the great thing is that it does ease the pregnancy throughout the 9 months. It helps them have an easier experience. It also helps with delivery,
Yep.
less intervention, get them on a more active lifestyle instead of being sedentary.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you know, but 99% of them always bring their babies in immediately to get checked also because they understand now how the physiology of their body works. And it makes sense that a child should be getting checked from birth on because why wait till something happens or develops when you can prevent it from early onset?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, you're seeing babies out of the womb as early as when?
I've actually taken care of babies when the umbilical cord is still attached.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, go into the facility and the birthing centers or at home births, and I'll take care of the child then.
Just curious. I know when we're born, right? We have our, this may sound silly because I don't know the body like you do, but is our bones like really bones? Are they like cartilage? Are they like, tell me about the bone structure when it's growing. And then I know like the soft spot, it's not connected. Tell me about the bones in the body at that age.
Yeah, the delivery process is the most traumatic experience
Ah,
of a child, of anyone. So as the baby exits the womb, there's a compression of the skull that occurs to push all the blood into the lungs. So the lungs expand, and then when the baby crowns, the skull regains that
yeah.
integrity by with the blood rushing back. Well, that allows the child to take the first deep breath.
Wow.
So that's amazing how Mother Nature designed us that way.
Yeah.
And the instability that may occur from pushing or pulling, depending on if there was intervention or if there was an epidural, which maybe stalled the process,
Mm-hmm.
or pitocin to induce delivery. Sometimes that instability in the upper neck area causes pressure on the nerves, especially the brainstem, which is the first part of the spinal cord. The bones are very soft, so
Okay.
when we're adjusting children, it's a totally different adjustment than as
Okay.
an adult. So when sometimes people get a little bit uncomfortable saying, "Are you applying the same pressure as an
Oh,
adult?"
no.
No, we're
No.
not. Totally different. It's a very light pressure, depending on how much weakness is in there. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally different. But children, infants, experience easier ability to nurse, less constipation, they sleep much more comfortably. They breathe clearer. A lot of times we see children that have had a little difficult birth. They start breathing. They become mouth breathers. If
Ah,
we adjust them very early and get that area stable, they breathe a little bit more, calmer.
okay.
So it's a great experience, and we great to see. I just had a little one come in last week.
Oh,
Constipation, a little bit of a fever, tugging on the ear. 3 months old. Adjusted them within 48 hours. Huge difference. And there was no intervention besides the adjustment and doing some things at home to help them.
amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your insights today. It's always a pleasure having you. Would you
You're welcome.
mind telling us how we can reach out to you?
They contact our office through the website, CheshireChiropractic.com. Our phone number 203-272-3239. We're also on social media, Facebook, Central Connecticut Chiropractic, and then also Instagram, but I have no idea what the call letters are. I think it's
Ah,
Central underscore CT underscore chiropractic.
perfect. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next time we chat. I'll catch up with you on Long Island, hopefully, and thank you for my son's recommendation. We'll chat soon, okay?
Great. Thank you
Thank
again.
you. Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.